That's cool. We have guests in the arcade. Alright, so it looks like we're able to change the wall. Let's customize. In Customize, you can place cabinets, decorations, and figures wherever you like. You can also change the wallpaper and flooring. Select the item you wish to use from your list of items. Alright. So here we go. This is more of the Typhoon mode of Pac-Man Museum Plus. We're able to place different things. So let's see. If I go to wallpaper, there it is. Pac-Man Ghost. Oh, that is colorful. Yes. Alright. Can I change the flooring, though, to contrasted? Maybe blue? Yeah, that looks better. What else do I have? Figures. Oh, right, the figures. Let's see. We got Pac-Man using his Pac-1 logo. But it looks like that's already placed. Blinky, of course. We'll place him. Let's go up next to Pac-Man. And we'll do Professor Pac. Like that. Keep it like that for now. Alright, cool. So, options, total earned coins, leaderboard. Oh, is there like an online function? Oh, there's an online function! You can see all the coins to dates? Okay, so it doesn't count towards the coins you already have, it stacks up over time. That's actually pretty interesting. And it actually adds a little bit of like a replayability to it. Alright, cool. We got a Pac-Man wallpaper based on his classic sprite design. Yeah, that's really cool. So, let's see, do we have any more options on... No. Looks like basic so far. Oh, wait, I want to see about the rocking horse. Do not forget the rocking horse. We'll do it right down low here. Decoration. Okay, yeah, it's a decoration. And we'll place it that way. Yeah, we got a rocking horse now. Can I interact with it? Nope, just decoration. Alright, looking dapper. Alright, that said, our next game, we're going to be trying to go in order as much as we can here. And that's going to be Super Pac-Man. So, let's talk a little bit about Super Pac-Man. So remember, Midway actually had rights to Pac-Man here in the West. And this actually created a bit of a legal gray area because they were actually given a lot more power than they should have had with the Pac-Man license. They were able to do things that you can never get away with in today's times. They essentially had the full rights to Pac-Man in any way they saw fit. So when it came to the West, they believed Midway that what they were considering for the sequel of Pac-Man, which they couldn't even think of at the time, again, no one knew how big Pac-Man was going to be, that whatever they came up with wouldn't be there in time to capitalize on the success of Pac-Man, and that whatever sequel they did make may not have lived up to what the Western audience was expecting. So Midway actually found some, you could say they were the very first video game modifiers of the time, GCC. And what they did with an Atari game, Missile Command, was modify it to essentially make it more difficult, which in turn led to greater success for people visiting the arcades, at least on their college campus. Well, after a lawsuit that ultimately ended with GCC winning because they didn't mess with the game's copyright, they were just adding on to it, Midway approached them in hopes of being able to make a modification to the original Pac-Man, because they believed that by doubling down on what the Western audience loved with the original Pac-Man and making it better could yield much more revenue in return. And so, Miss Pac-Man was born. Now, Miss Pac-Man wasn't made by Namco, so therefore, they didn't really have the true rights to the character, and this would actually create some problems moving forward, but we're going to be talking about that later on. That said though, we wouldn't actually get the true sequel to Pac-Man until 1982, in the form of Super Pac-Man. And this one is a little bit controversial, all things considered, just because, well, how do you follow up one of the most successful operated arcade games of all time? Do you expect more of the same but better, as we saw with Miss Pac-Man? Or do you expect it to revolutionize the series? Well, let's just take a look at what happens. Alright, Super Pac-Man! I love the artwork here on display. So, Super Pac-Man is very different compared to the original Pac-Man. And I don't mean from a sense of its core gameplay, but rather how they shuffled up the formula. The biggest addition is in the form of the Super Pellet. Where we have the normal Power Pellet and we're able to eat the ghost normally, the Super Pellet actually allows us to avoid the ghost entirely, but you can't actually harm the ghost. That said though, you could stack both of them together. And that's the power of Super Pac-Man. To explain a little more though, let's just start the game. And immediately, let me just say that when you're playing with a controller versus an arcade stick, there's going to be one major thing, give or take the D-pad if I pull this off, that shows a fundamental flaw in the design of Super Pac-Man. So, insert the coin, and start, and let's see if I can do it. I know I'm all talk right now, but I feel like I might be able to. A little fast on the bend. Egg. Ding 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 doo 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 doo. So you saw what happened there, right? That's the biggest fundamental flaw of Super Pac-Man. The fact that the game, if you know what you're doing and you're quick about controls, is way too easy. By using the Super Pellet and getting the regular Power Pellets to extend the time, which does get shorter as you go on, you can just cheese through the game just like that. I mean, look at that. This is already the first coffee break, which there's a lot more in this the game compared to the original Pac-Man. But the fact that I just got through the first two stages that fast, and again, it is a D-pad, it's different from an arcade joystick, but it kind of shows you that this game was flawed from the very beginning. But the biggest thing really is, it's just not that good of a game. This is the one game that the original Pac-Man creator, Iwatani, has gone on to address to say that, as the sequel to the original Pac-Man, it's not a good game. And he's even said that this game is boring. Now, I can understand criticism of something, but even if it comes from the creator, it's still really sad to hear. I'm not going to say that Super Pac-Man is the best game ever made. Far from it. But I don't think it's a bad game. Boring? I mean, sure, but it's not to say that there aren't fans of the game. But when you really do compare it to the original Pac-Man, or even what we got here in the West, Miss Pac-Man, it's clear that as a sequel, it's not good. It just is not good at all. So this is the one instance where Midway was correct, where the fans really did want the same thing, but better. But alright, before we josh, let's talk a little about what the gameplay should look like for Super Pac-Man. Whereas before you were eating pellets, now we're trying to eat all the food and fruit in the maze. But to do so, we need to get to them. Sadly, they're all locked away through the use of these keys. So by grabbing all the keys, you're able to open up the gates and get the food on the inside. Along the way though, of course, you have the classic ghosts that are trying to stop you. And yeah, that's all there is to Super Pac-Man. Of course, the ghost AI is still there, and it works when it does. But more often than not, the biggest annoyance is the gates. And you'll see that as we get further in, they will be shuffled up. Not every key will work the same way. Some will be further, some will be in different positions. But with the use of the Super Pellet, a novel idea, of course, I think the part where it broke, though, was being able to smash, or I suppose fly, over the gates. And heck, even the ghosts don't stand a chance when they're using it against us. You saw how big Pac-Man got? Pac-Man's huge! As a matter of fact, this would be the emphasis of Final Smash in Super Smash Bros. For Pac-Man. By combining the Power Pellet with the Super Pellet, Pac-Man becomes huge and tries to eat all the foes in Smash Bros. Which is much more powerful if you're playing Ultimate, because it's just how fast he goes. But that's besides the point. So you can see that we're already this deep in. This is already stage 8. And we're still doing pretty good. Only lost 1 life, but that was with the bonus. So now the keys are more shuffled. The other thing too is that with the design of the maze, there really isn't a whole lot of opportunities to avoid the ghosts. It's much easier for them to try and get to me, I suppose is the best way to put it. And I feel like it's not much of a fair fight. I don't have many turns, any nooks that I'm able to just quickly escape them. The warps on the left and the right, they're blocked off unless you find the right key. So the game, from its fundamental standpoint of the original game, just doesn't work very well. And so this is one of the biggest reasons why many people may not like Super Pac-Man, and I'm not judging you if you do enjoy this game. Power to you. I think the cabinet looked great, especially with the midway design of Pac-Man, which was still original but still used that cape design. It was really cool to see. But you just can't help but feel that it's really unimpressive, especially when here in the West, we got Miss Pac-Man, which is considered the definitive way to play the original arcade Pac-Man, just because of what it did compared to the original game. The craziest thing, though, is Namco really doesn't own the rights to Miss Pac-Man. But alright, so we did this. Let's go to the menu, check out the missions. 45%. Let's see, 10 stages, 15 stages, wow. Okay, eating all the ghosts, you really have to go out of your way for that one. 20 stages. That's a long game, 20 stages? Eating the ghost, eating the ghost, eating the ghost. Alright, so we don't have the same challenge of trying to play it so many times. I take it that's the one that let me unlock the other games, or at least playing regular Pac-Man. So, I think one go is enough for this one. So, let's return to the arcade. Super Pac-Man. I don't hate it, but it's not the strongest one of the collection. Just saying. Alright, 45% completed. We got a Super Pac-Man cabinet. Background music. Super Pac-Man. Maze D. Oh, I like that. That looks like concept art. Wallpaper. Super Pac-Man. Round clear. Super Pac-Man. Super Pac-Man. Super Pac-Man. Hey, a new visitor stopped by the arcade. We got Pinky. Alright, this is fun. I actually like that we have some of the guests show up. It's alright, that was Super Pac-Man. So, up next in the order of games to play is Pac and Pal.